This is Jackie, and I am here with the gentleman of 84 days. I've got Randy and Cameron, and we've got new music coming out. Last week, you released the track Don't Trust the Government off your debut album that comes out November 7th. Not to mince words, guys, we're at a time where distrust and frustration with our government really at an all-time high. So do you think this song is like a necessary statement, or you're kind of shit stirring, or a little bit of both?
Well, so the song is more about, okay, so the song is about when I first started making realizations about how the world works. And it was through when I got exposed to punk rock when I was like 15 years old, and all the band, like I say in the song, all these bands were saying, question authority or abolish the government, or I want to be anarchy. So I was getting this message that we shouldn't trust the government, the authorities, and we should always question. And that's our job, is to, make sure, hold them to a high standard if possible. And they constantly, so I learned that lesson a long time ago, but I feel like when I look around me, it seems like people still expect them to actually do what they say they're going to do. And, so whatever. They're a big disappointment, no matter how you slice it. We love what they say sometimes, but when they put it into actions, it doesn't necessarily work. And if people do that to me in real life, then I don't trust them anymore. So it's just that simple. It's just very obvious. And yeah, it's easy to see if you look around that, I guess maybe it's something that needs to be said.
Cam, anything to add to that?
He said it the best. I mean, he was sweet the way he actually talks better when he's in the car than when he's like focused. Like, this is good. I think everything he said there was to a T. I love it. I will have more to say when we have things that I need to talk about. But yeah,
deal.
He's right.
Thank you, Cameron.
So how was this specific song born? Did it start off with a lyric, a riff, the bridge? Where was it born?
Okay, well, this is one of those songs. This is what I was trying to do when I went in the studio. There's times when you don't really know how you wrote a song. It just comes to you. And during this whole process that I was writing, it was about a year and a half worth of writing where I tried to recreate that process where songs would just come to me, ideas would just come to me. So I would do things. I go with my first instinct. I was trying to recreate it, which you really can't do. It's kind of like lightning striking. But with this song, that's what happened. I mean, that guitar riff is kind of simple and kind of open and not what I would generally write. And this song came to me in about, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes. And then I filled in the gap. So that was the process. It just came to me. All the parts kind of just seemed to like go where they needed to go. And
it's the most obvious kind of pop sort of song on the whole record that has that chorus that, like, you hear it once, you'll sing it the next two times. And we didn't chase that all the time, but that's just one where, like, it's just simple. And the words, like, everyone's like, they're either going to be embarrassed to sing it, or they're going to be so stoked that, like, hey, you know what, we're all here in this together. Let's not trust these guys that are taking all our money. So it's just, but the lyrics and the melodies, I think, are very, very catchy. And that's why it just kind of like came together, and I'm like, this one's great, Randy, you got to use this song. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah, we got to use it.
There's just something about punk music specifically. I mean, it's so entangled in the political scene, and it's gone on that way for a really long time. Was there ever any hesitation to put out, or even, I feel like we're not allowed to talk about politics right now because,
Nope.
If we say the wrong thing and we post the wrong message, somebody's going to get mad at us, whether it's the person that we would like to direct the anger towards, or whether it's someone else who misinterpreted it. Was there ever any hesitation of, like, maybe we should be a little more veiled in our message?
I think for sure we had lots of conversations where, like, because when this was written and then when we are releasing it, it's things have changed over time. So like we're both like, I hope people just like see the way we see it and not like try to make martyrs or like, hey, point, you did this wrong, that wrong, because that's not what we want at all. That's not the point. Randy explained exactly what the song's about, and if people can see that, and it's just it's a fun sing along that we will do with a group of people, and that's the goal of what that is. Nothing more than that.
Yeah, but what you're saying is everything is very polarized. And when you, especially with online and algorithms, everyone, once the algorithm catches what you're where you're going, what you want to see, that's all you see. So you're dealing with a world full of people that everybody knows for a fact that they are correct. They are right about everything because everything they see, they everything is it's like a confirmation that the way they feel is right, and they cannot believe how other people don't see it that way. So one of the things I like to do is I like to recognize like the bigger picture. I like to recognize that that getting your attention and getting your opinion aside is what that is what is worth, that is what is valuable nowadays. So when you watch the news, depending on what station you're on, they are showing you things that are going to keep your opinions aligned with them, or and really it's a big advertisement for your opinion. So I don't appreciate like the whole world, everything in front of you is a big advertisement. I feel like you can't trust anything, even though there is a right and wrong. There is a right and wrong, and but it doesn't matter because everyone gets to decide what their facts are. And so it's pretty scary, actually. So, what if I could have any kind of if I could have any effect at all on whatever a couple people, it would be to like just like this song, or they said question authority, question everything. At least don't buy it on the first round, go around, go, oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe I'm going to make a note of that and I'm going to keep paying attention. And because it's hard to find your path because people want to be good, right? They want to do the right thing. So, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy out there.
Speaking of social media, when you have new music out, how do you balance advertising that new music and being authentic on social media when, to be fair, when any of us started being interested in music or thinking of it as a career, I'm sure you didn't think about being a content creator.
No, that's kind of hard because I do enjoy engaging on, like, I'll go on Facebook. I have kind of a filtered situation on Facebook where I have public posts, but then I have, posts where it goes to a lot less people. And I like to, have conversations, engagement, like talking shit or whatever it might be. And so I found that I don't want to be a a salesman, an advertising salesman, but uh all it needs to be done. Like there's some things you gotta bear down and go, hey, this is the one chance. I'm really happy with how the album turned out. Cameron did a great job producing the songs, and I'm just so proud of it. So I want people to listen to it. I want people to like it, but you don't want to be obnoxious. So what I do, it's probably the same reason why the teacher in 8th grade told me I was the worst student she ever had, is because I just go for it, And so like on Facebook, I've been messing around. Like I did a post like, the Atlas rock. I said, that Atlas rock that's going through the solar system now. And okay, so there's something, and people are like, oh, maybe it's an alien. And I went and I said, the Atlas rock is nothing. It's nothing but a rock. It's not going to do anything unless you don't buy my album. So the way to save the planet is to buy my album. If you're a good person and you care about the planet, you buy my album. So I'm just joking around with it, and that's kind of fun.
I mean, that's a good advertisement tool, though. I will say, and there's a chance that it worked on somebody. Your first single, Mockingbird Brains, who inspired the songwriting of that tune?
Well, that's another one of those that falls in line with this whole thing about the TV and what you're seeing, what you're being sold. And then there was this program, I think it was in the 1950s or so, where the CIA was actually running a program called Operation Mockingbird, where they were placing certain propaganda in TV, radio, movies, and things like that, and they were studying it and seeing what kind of influence they could have and how it would change people's opinions and things. And so I just extended that because the program ended, and so I just extended that to, basically what we're talking about. And I just said, we're all mockingbird brains because we're just all influenced by whatever whatever we want the world to be, our own, facts or whatever. So that's more about that.
Who came up with the treatment for the video?
Yeah, it was a
Sam
team
had a lot
effort.
to do with it.
I had a lot to do with it. Eric Cannon had a lot to do with it, but we just we didn't want a band sitting in a rehearsal room jamming together. I was like, that stuff's so boring to me. I'm like, let's make some sort of story and make it fun and maybe make it more like a trailer for something like, hey, maybe you hear more about these brain surgeons that are going around and fixing people. Maybe there's more to this. And this is just the introduction of these guys. And like, it was cool because when we originally gave to Eric, Eric's just like, okay. And then we're like, just started throwing ideas back and forth. And I call Randy and I'd be like, let's do this. Let's try this and that. And then he took all of those ideas and then he built a lot of that on his own without us but we were like, hey, you're good at this. You make videos, help us make something kind of a little more fun and wild. So it's just like a little shocking. And we made a lot of choices with them, but it was a big team effort between the three of us. And it wasn't just like, hey, throw it together, whatever happens. Like there were these rewrites and like, hey, we can't do that. We can't do that, but we could do that. And then Eric kind of went crazy and then shot all this extra stuff. Like it was really cool.
It's very cinematic, and it's, and I mean this as a compliment. It is sort of this old school back when videos were really fun to watch.
Exactly.
It's been a long time. What role do you think music videos have in 2025?
They're huge. They're so big because guess what? If you can take a visual and put it to a song, people will pay attention to that song and they'll listen to that song. All the other songs we haven't done videos for, people are just like, okay, there's a song, cool. But when they watch that one, they watch it 60,000 times and then they're just like, oh, wait, there's more to this. And then when they don't have the video, they're going to listen to it in their car and their mind will flash back to the girl with the cage on it or those other elements or the eyeball. And you have something it's a double thing that you get to relate to. So I think videos like that are so much fun. But if they're boring videos, it's going to make a boring song. So I think you just got to try to be creative with it. And that's what we really did. I think it's so important.
Yeah, I think that the days of performance videos, like you can integrate it within a video if you're careful about it. But if you're giving us just a recorded performance, I would rather go see the band live.
Yeah.
Y'all are some seasoned and amazing musicians that have been working on this project. Would you consider yourself a super group or just a group that's super?
I call it a group that's super, but Randy's a star. I mean, he's in a very successful band and they kill it and they play in front of tons of people. So like, he's kind of a superstar, but like the point was more like, hey, Randy's got all these rad songs. Why not just release them? Because they're not for his other band. So like, just throw them out there and maybe people will be stoked on those too. And it was like we talked earlier about like, oh, it's advertisement and this and that. And we didn't write the record in that mindset. We wrote the record in like, this is what Randy is. This is who he is. This is what he does. And then that's just what happened with these songs. So.
And I think it's kind of like, who are we going to get? Who am I going to play with? Who's going to record my an album that I'm interested in making? We're very lucky. I've been doing this for a long time that everyone, I know so many people who are super talented and have also been doing it for a long time. And so I guess if it's a super group, it's super because I just happen to know some rad people.
Yeah. And it was cool. He calls up agents and says, hey, I want to make my own record. Do you want to play drums on it? And agent's like, yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. We called up Smelly, like, hey, we got this show, the House of Blues. Do you want to play on it? He's like, yeah, that sounds like fun. Let's do it. Let's make sure we get in a room together, rehearse and get good. And and do that. So we're lucky to have those relationships and those special people in our lives.
With so much touring experience under your belt, do you prefer the outdoor festivals like Warped Tour or the more intimate, loud, sweaty club gig?
There's something about being in a room that has a lot of people in it. There's an energy. And I've always preferred that. I think I was always just more comfortable with that. But now I really like it when we play outdoors. So I think it just matters on the energy and the vibe that's happening. And sometimes gigs are easy. Sometimes everything sounds good on stage and everyone's playing good together and it's super fun. And is so that's a good question, but I would say back in the early days, it was all about being in a good room. And now I do like being outdoors. It feels good. It's comfortable. It's nice. I like it.
And
And
I love like when I was a kid more so, and like we'd have like backyard parties, and it would be in like the living room of someone's house, and there'd be 100 kids in a room that should only fit 20 people, and everyone's butted up against each other, and like it's just loud and it's noisy, and everyone's having fun, and there's beer, and there's just like that's like there's so much excitement and I don't know, there's a charm to that being on the floor with everyone and like doing that. So like they're both rad experiences.
what does success look or feel like in 2025?
Well, I would say that I was successful the minute I put my fingers on the first guitar I ever played, and when I can make a chord. So because I love it. I love music and I love playing and I love creating. And I feel like that's very, very important. If you have a different definition of what your success is and a goal that you have to hit before you're successful, it's going to be a very long road. So you have to love what you're doing every moment of it. And then then the road is like the roads enjoy it's successful. It just feels good the whole time just being able to do it. So I think that my idea of what success is just remains the same. I in 2025, 2026, I mean, look, you want to be able to do this as much as possible, so being able to do it for a living is the more successful because then you get more time at it. So I guess for me now, it would mean being able to be viable, sustainable, and play. Because I do have a family and I have to, so I got to make some money. As long as I can make enough to keep the kids fed, then I feel like I'm successful at this right now.
Yeah. I think to me, it's a lot of it is happiness, how happy you feel inside on a day-to-day basis. And like if you're always worried about money and things like that, like it drags you down. If you're always watching the news and seeing the negativity, it's harsh on your life. You have to sometimes shut all that stuff down and be like, hey, like like 84 days, like we're going to rehearse. No one's paying us to go rehearse, but guess what? We rehearsed last night for 3 hours and we're like, this is fun. Like, hey, you did this stupid fill and did that. And like all of a sudden I walked out the door and I was exhausted and I go, but you know what? I don't feel bad. I felt good. I felt like my life had like purpose and it was exciting. So happiness is it's not about money and things and stuff. It's about the way you feel, because there's a lot of people too that like have mental health issues that like they're not happy for reasons. And it's like you gotta make it for yourself though. You gotta make that happiness. Like if you're feeling down, then adjust something, try to change something and make yourself feel better. And I think a big thing too is loyalty to friends, loyalty to acquaintances or business partners or people like that. Because guess what? If you're loyal to people, they see that and they come back around and you get more business and you get more things and like friendships, relationships. I mean, these shows with the Vandals, they didn't just pop out of nowhere. This is like 40 years in the making. Randy's been playing with these guys his whole life. I've been watching them my whole life. And then all of a sudden they're like, you want to play these shows? We're like, hell yeah, we do. Done. So that's what it is for me.
Perfect. Well, check out everything from 84 Days, but be sure to check out the new album coming out November 7th. Thank you so much, gentlemen of 84 Days. This is Jackie. Thanks to Chorus FM and In the Key of Change.